The National Electrical Code, specifically Section 230.54c, addresses the placement of service heads and goosenecks in relation to the service drop attachment point. This section states that service heads and goosenecks and service entrance cables must be located above the point of attachment of the service drop conductors to the building or other structure. However, this requirement applies specifically to service entrance cables and does not necessarily extend to conduit installations. In the case of conduit installations, the code does not explicitly mandate that the service head be positioned above the point of attachment. Therefore, while it is common practice and often recommended to place the service head above the attachment point for all overhead services, the code only strictly enforces this rule for service entrance cable installations. It is important to differentiate between the types of wiring methods used for the service entrance. Service entrance cable, often referred to as SE cable, is a specific type of cable assembly designed for bringing power from the service drop to the building's service equipment. Conduit, on the other hand, is a raceway system that encloses individual conductors. The NEC treats these wiring methods differently in certain aspects, including the service head placement. The exception to Rule 230.54c provides further clarification. It states that if it is impractical to locate the service head or gooseneck above the point of attachment, the service head or gooseneck location is permitted not farther than 600 mm, which is approximately 24 inches, from the point of attachment. This exception allows for flexibility in situations where physical obstructions or other constraints prevent the service head from being placed directly above the attachment point. It is crucial to understand the specific requirements outlined in the NEC to ensure safe and compliant electrical installations. Incorrectly installed service heads can lead to water ingress, corrosion, and potential electrical hazards. Always consult the latest edition of the NEC and local amendments to ensure compliance with all applicable regulations. When dealing with electrical installations, it is always recommended to engage a qualified and licensed electrician. A professional electrician has the knowledge and experience to properly interpret the code and install electrical systems safely and effectively. They can assess the specific conditions of the installation and determine the most appropriate placement of the service head, taking into account all relevant factors. Here are some additional considerations related to service head placement. Firstly, the primary purpose of the service head is to protect the service conductors from the weather. The service head is designed to prevent rain, snow, and other elements from entering the conduit or cable and causing damage to the conductors. Secondly, the location of the service head can also affect the clearance of the service conductors from ground level and other objects. The NEC specifies minimum clearance requirements for service conductors to ensure safety and prevent accidental contact. Thirdly, proper sealing of the service head is essential to prevent water ingress. The service head should be properly sealed with a suitable sealant to create a watertight connection. Fourthly, the type of service head used should be appropriate for the type of wiring method used. Different types of service heads are available for service entrance cable and conduit installations. Fifthly, the service head should be securely mounted to the building or other structure. The service head should be mounted in a way that prevents it from being dislodged by wind or other forces. Sixthly, the service conductors should be properly supported as they exit the service head. The conductors should be supported in a way that prevents them from straining the service head or the conductors themselves. Seventhly, it is important to coordinate the service head placement with the local utility company. The utility company may have specific requirements for the location and type of service head used. Eighthly, the service head should be accessible for inspection and maintenance. The service head should be located in a place where it can be easily accessed for inspection and maintenance purposes. Ninthly, the service head should be installed in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. The manufacturer's instructions provide specific guidance on the proper installation of the service head. Tenthly, always disconnect power before working on any electrical equipment. Working on live electrical equipment can be extremely dangerous and can result in serious injury or death. In summary, while the NEC requires service heads to be above the point of attachment for service entrance cables, this is not explicitly required for conduit installations. However, proper service head placement is crucial for all overhead services to ensure weather protection, safety, and compliance with the NEC and local regulations. Always consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that your electrical installation meets all applicable requirements. Also consider the environmental conditions like coastal areas where corrosion is accelerated. In such cases, consider using materials that resist corrosion to increase service life. Ensure proper drip loops are installed to prevent water from running back along the service conductors into the service head. Proper grounding and bonding are crucial for safety. Ensure that all metallic components of the service entrance are properly grounded and bonded to minimize the risk of electrical shock. Conduct regular inspections of the service entrance to identify any potential problems early on. Look for signs of corrosion, damage, or water ingress. Any issues should be addressed promptly to prevent further damage or hazards. Remember to keep records of all electrical work performed on the service entrance, including inspections, repairs, and upgrades. These records can be helpful for future maintenance and troubleshooting. If you are unsure about any aspect of service head placement or electrical installation, it is always best to consult with a qualified and licensed electrician. They can provide expert advice and ensure that your electrical system is safe and compliant.